Hello students, today I am going to deliver a lecture on the topic of convolutional neural network. These are the key features of the convolutional neural network. The network is basically inspired from the visual cortex of animal, which is used in the image and the video processing techniques, and it has having a lot of applications in facial recognition, medical imaging, action recognition, and lots. There are several other possible applications related to the image and the video processing. And the special thing of this neural network is that the network is both place and the orientation environment and invariant. That makes the CNN the the good for the video and the image processing over the multi-layer perceptron. So these are the applications of convolutional neural network. As you can see here, in this image, the neural network has recognized the objects which is present in this image. Has the car, here is the cycle, here is the truck. Here is a truck. Okay, so this is one of the application. As you can see in this image here, a face is recognized, which is tagged with the Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, this is the name of that person. So we can use in the facial recognition. And there is a third use case of this CNN, in which the brain imaging the image of a brain is given with and in which the place of a tumor is highlighted. Okay, so this portion is highlighted by the help of the convolutional neural network. Okay, so these are the possible applications of the convolutional network. uh, so let's see what the place and the orientation variance. Okay, as you can see here, this is the original image which the neural network has learned. Okay, and here and these three images and three different images, the placement of the object is different one, and the orientation is also different. Okay, here the placement is different. Okay, in these two cases and these two images, the placement is different, and here in this case the orientation is different. Okay, so whenever a neural network learn this image and we provide these images at the time of testing, then the neural network, the multi-layer perceptron, will not be able to recognize this the learned object. Okay, because the multi-layer perceptron is not the place and orientation invariance. Okay, so our demand is to make a neural network place and the orientation invariance. That is why we use the convolution neural network. Okay, so let's see why the multi-layer perceptron is not place and the orientation invariance. Okay, this is the multi-layer perceptron. Okay, here the input layer is taking the input from every here the input neuron is corresponding to the each input pixel. Okay, and the next layer neurons will make associations with the neurons which are active. Okay, here the pixels which are black are actually the activated pixels, and other are the inactivated pixels. Okay, so here this neuron will make association with those neurons which are activated. Okay, so as you can see here, so only activated pixels will participate in a particular object. Okay, so whenever if we change the orientation, and then we will find out that different pixels will become active. Okay, so and this case the different pixels will become active here in the input layer, and the neuron will not be able to recognize the object. Okay, so next thing is about the convolutional neural network is that it learns in a hierarchical way. hierarchical way, what it means, here you can see this is a deep neural network. Okay, the convolution neural network is also a kind of deep neural network where the every layer learns the patterns, okay, in hierarchical way. Okay, here the output layer will learn the broad pattern. Okay, and when we go from output layer to the input layer, then the pattern size will be reduced. Okay, so let's say if this output layer is learning the phase, then this part maybe will learn the nose. Okay, yeah, eyes. Okay, let's say this layer is learning the eyeballs, eyebrows. Okay, so in this way the convolution neural network learns in the hierarchical manner. Okay, so this is the structure of convolution neural network. Okay, it is basically divided into two parts. One is the feature learning, another one is the classification. Okay, so classification can be done by the help of the multilayer perceptron. Okay, that we already have seen in the multilayer in the video lecture of multilayer perceptron. Okay, and this part is added by the this part is added in the convolution neural network, which is different from the multilayer perceptron. Okay, so let's see what the feature learning is. Okay, so so here feature learning actually divided into two parts, is further divided into two parts. One is the convolution operation and another one is the pooling operation. Okay, so whenever an image comes to a neural network, then it will be forwarded to the convolution layer. Okay, then convolution layer will perform convolution operation of convolution, then it forwards to the pooling layer. Okay, after pooling again, the image will be forwarded to the convolution layer, and then it will again forward to the pooling layer. Okay, so in this way multiple times the convolution and the pooling operation can be done in the convolution neural network. Okay, so let's see the working of the convolution layer and the need of the convolution operation. Okay, so here as you can see, here this is the input image and this is the filter. Okay, so convolution, the basic use of the convolution layer is to convolve the input image with a filter. Okay, to detect the pattern present in a filter. Okay, so here this is the input image, this is a filter. Okay, when we convolve this filter with this input image, then it will return a image, a map, a feature map that will represent where the feature of this filter is present in this input image. Okay, so as you can see, that feature of the filter is present there, over there, right? So so after convolution of this filter with this input image, it will return a feature map. Okay, and this feature map will tell where the feature of a filter is present in this input image. Okay, so as you can see here, in this feature map, these all values are the 0 and other values, and these 4 values are large. Okay, so that means that the feature is present in this region of the image. Okay, here this is the circle, this is a filter which is having a feature of circle. Okay, so as you can see here in this image, here that feature is present, right? So when we convolve, then it will return again a feature map, and as you can see here, these values are higher comparatively to the other values. That means that the feature is present in this region of the image. Okay, so the basic use of the convolution operation is to find out the reason where a particular feature is present. Okay, if you even if you change the orientation, then in that case the convolution operation can successfully find out the feature. Okay, so in convolution neural network, we call a filter a kernel. Okay, so this is image and this is a filter. Okay, the filter actually represent a pattern. Okay, so pattern is actually will be in the form of pixels. Okay, so here every pixel is having a value. Okay, and we convolve this image with this filter. Okay, this is an image and this is the filter. We convolve and it will return a feature map. Okay, this is the feature map. Okay, so let's see the convolution operation. The working of convolution operation. This is input image, this is a feature map. Okay, here this is a filter for which this is a filter for detecting the lines in an input image. Okay, so that means by using this filter we can find out where the lines are present in this input image. Okay, so as you can see, corresponding to this image, this is in the form of the pixels. Okay, and these are the pixel values corresponding to this image, right? Okay, so here the gray is represented by the zeros and the white is represented by the 10. Okay, similarly corresponding to this filter, the values of each pixel will be like this. Okay, so 0 the gray, the black is -1 and the white is the 1. Okay, so when we convolve this and then we will obtain a feature map. Okay, so for the convolution, what we will do first, we will put this filter at the topmost and the rightmost end. Okay, so as you can see here, the red lines is actually representing the position, the very first position of the filter on this input image. Okay, so that means we convolve this area with this input image, with this filter. Okay, and this convolution operation, what do? We multiply the corresponding pixels of filter and this area. So in this convolution we multiply the corresponding pixels. Okay, and then we will add up all values. Okay, so 10 multiply with 1, 10 multiply with 0, 10 multiply with -1, 10 with 1, 10 with 0, 10 with -1, 10 with 1, 10 with 0, 10 with 1, -1. So all multiplications will be summed out, and the resultant value will be -0. Okay, so here this -0 will be stored in this feature map. Okay, to find out the next value, what we will do, we will shift the position of filter over the input image. Okay, by 1 pixels on the right direction. Okay, so next position of the filter on this input image will be this. Okay, then again we will multiply the corresponding pixels of the filter and this this projection area, and then we take the sum of all values, and the resultant value will be get stored in this feature map, which is 30 here. Okay, then again we will shift this filter by 1 pixel right. Okay, so again for the next position we follow the same procedure, and then we will get the next value, which is 30. Okay, similarly we shift by 1 pixel, and that will be the last position in this row. Okay, and we get this value. Okay, after the completion of this row, we will shift the filter 1 pixel bottom. Okay, towards the bottom. Okay, we will shift the filter by the 1 pixel bottom side direction. So next position will be this. Okay, okay, so we will multiply the corresponding pixels. Okay, we take the sum and the resultant value will be get stored here in this feature map. Okay, so in this way we calculate the feature map, and that feature map will tell us where the feature of that where the pattern present in this feature in this filter is present in the input image. So as you can see here, the values the value 30 is present in the at the mid of this feature map. Okay, that is representing that the at the center of the input image the line is present. Okay, so as you can see here in this input image the line is present at the center. Okay, so the line is successfully detected by this convolution operation. So in this way the convolution operation works. Okay, next operation which is required in the CNN is the padding. Okay, so padding we do for to increase the performance. Okay, so as you can see here, if we convolve our input image with a filter, then we will see as you, if we convolve this filter with this input image. Okay, so we will find out that if any feature which is present in that portion of this filter will not be convolved with this with that portion of the image. Okay, and if any pattern present in that direction is present in this input image here, then definitely the pattern will not be detected, because that area of the filter will not convolve with that area of the input image. Okay, so that is why we need to apply the padding here. Okay, so in padding we pad the input image with the zeros. Okay, so that the can filter can convolve with every portion of the filter, can convolve with every portion of the input image, so that the pattern can be detected. Okay, so that is why the padding is required. Okay, so next operation which is required for the CNN is the pooling. Okay, so pooling are of three types: max, average, and the global pooling. So let's see the pooling operation. The basic use of the pooling is to reduce the feature map. Okay, the feature map which we have obtained from the convolution operation. Okay, when we convolve the filter with the input image, then we will get a feature map. Okay, so now the task is to reduce the size of the feature map. Okay, so to reduce the size we use here two parameters. One is the filter, another filter size. Okay, another one is the stride. Okay, so what we do, we will we will first project a filter on this feature map. Okay, here I have taken the filter of 2 cross 2. Okay, so first I have project the 2 cross 2 filter. Okay, which is and this under this projection we the value 2294 is present. Okay, uh, so what we will do here in max pooling, we will take the maximum value. Okay, from this window. Okay, so here the filter size is 2 cross 2, means that the window size is 2 cross 2. Okay, so we put the filter of 2 cross 2 and in this window we will take out the maximum value, and the maximum value is here is 9. Okay, the 2294, the maximum value is 9. Okay, and we will store in the reduced feature map. Okay, then we will shift our window. Okay, we will shift our window by the size of stride. Okay, stride actually tells us the size of the movement, the step movement. Okay, here stride size is 2 cross 2, means that we can shift 2 pixels in the right direction, and we can shift 2 pixels at the water direction. Okay, so first we will shift in the right direction. Okay, until the row is become completed. Okay, so the next window will be the 274, sorry, so here the sorry stride size is 2 cross 2, so next window will be 7361. Okay, so maximum value here is 7, so which is stored in the reduced feature map. Okay, then after completion of this row we will shift the window by the 2 pixels bottom. Okay, so next window will be the 8531, the maximum value is 8. Then again we will shift to the right, in the right direction with by the 2 pixels, and the maximum value here is 6, which is stored in the feature map. Okay, so this is the max pooling to reduce the feature map. Another one is the average pooling here, which is very much similar to the max pooling, just the difference of taking the taking the value, or it is different in just taking out the values. Okay, so here again I have taken the filter size 2 cross 2 and stride size is 2 cross 2. So first we will put the filter of 2 cross 2 on this input image, and we will get the window of 12, 28 and 12. Okay, in contrast to the max pooling, here we take the average of all from all values of a window. Okay, so here the average value, to get the average value we will add up the 12, 20, 12 and 8, and we will divide by the 4, and the resultant value will be the 30. Okay, which is stored here in the feature map. Okay, so next we will shift the window by the 2 pixels in the right direction, and then in this next window now we will take again the average, so which is here the 8. Then we will shift the bottom by the 2 pixels, which and we will get the average of 71, and we will again shift the window by the 2 pixels, and the average will be the 20. So in this way we reduce the feature map. Okay, so the two ways, one is the max pooling, another one is the average pooling. Okay, so next operation which is required in the CNN is the flattening of the feature map. Okay, so after the convolution and the pooling operation we get a feature map which is a two-dimensional here. Okay, so as I have discussed in the initial of the convolution neural network, that the convolution is neural network is divided into two parts. One is the feature learning consists of convolution and the pooling operation, right? So feature learning provides a feature map. Okay, and that tells us where the feature, any feature is present. Okay, next part is the classification part. Okay, here classification is actually multi-layer perceptron. Okay, so here the input layer, actually in the input layer will take the feature map. Okay, so to take the feature map we flatten out the feature map into the feature vector. Okay, because the multi-layer perceptron take a feature vector. Okay, and our input is feature map, so that is why flattening is required. Flattening just converts the 2D into a one-dimensional array. Okay, so we will take 1 1 0 as it is, then the next row will be concatenate here 4 2 1, then the next row of this feature map here is concatenated 0 to 1. Okay, so here this is the one-dimensional feature vector which will be given to the multi-layer perceptron for the classification. Okay, so in this is the input layer of multi-layer perceptron, and this is the output layer of the multi-layer perceptron. In the output layer, the number of neurons will be equal to the number of classes. Okay, let's say if I am designing a CNN for detecting the vehicles, then the output the number of neurons in the output layer will be equal to the type of vehicles. Okay, so car, bus, truck. Okay, so every output layer will be corresponding to one of the class of a vehicle. Okay, so in this way the CNN do classification. Okay, if our input image is a colored image, then the input pixel will have each input pixel will have RGB values. Okay, so in that case the input image will have the three channels. Okay, one is correspond to the red, another one is the green, another one is the for the blue. Okay, the RGB, red, green, blue. Okay, so in that case we use the 3D filters. Okay, for the convolution. Okay, as you can see here, the input image is having the 3 input channels. Okay, so for the convolution we have here we have used the 3 filters. Okay, 3D filter. Okay, so in the next lecture we will see the implementation of the convolutional neural network using Keras. Okay, thank you. That's all for the today's session. Thank you.